I'm a sad Santa. You know why? Because week 15 did not go as planned. Thank goodness for the Los Angeles Rams saving my bacon. Other than that, it was miserable. I want to never see any of week 15 again, because week 15 is a jerk, to quote Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. But we move forward, because I do not want coal in your stocking this Christmas. I want cash, and I know you do too. So we're going to refocus, shake off the dust from week 15, and look ahead to week 16 in the NFL. And there's some really good bets in here, including some things in the futures market I think you should take a strong, hard look at in week 16 before those numbers go south in week 17. So before we get to the things on my list for the top 10 bets for week 16, don't forget, drop your comments below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and when you do, you might win a 1-year free premium upgrade to Betting Pros, the best betting tools on the planet for you. Start betting smarter, not harder. All right, everybody, let's get after it. Here are my week 16 top 10 bets. Let's ride. Let's kick things off with number 10, the Buffalo Bills minus 10.5 at minus 115 against the Chargers. This one's in LA. I don't care. I'm feeling good about it over on FanDuel. The Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen, are starting to put it together. After a miserable first half where they just could not get out of their own way, they fired Ken Dorsey. Joe Brady comes in, and what a shock. You start getting James Cook the football, and guess what? The offense gets balanced and good things happen, and James Cook the last 2 weeks looks like an absolute rock star. Whereas on the other side of this game, the Chargers, well, they look like a team that's looking forward to 2024 after firing Brandon Staley in one of the most embarrassing losses in NFL history. I don't think the Chargers and Easton Stick can put together enough to slow down the Buffalo Bills. I don't like double digits on the road, but in this circumstance, I think you just take the points and run when it comes to Buffalo this week to pound the Chargers into submission. Let's stay in sunny Los Angeles for number 9 on our list. Give me the over 44.5 for the Rams hosting the Saints this week. This number you can get at BetMGM at minus 110. For the life of me, I can't figure out the Saints all season long, so I'm learning my lesson. I'm just not going to try anymore. The 4 points seems like the right call here for the Rams side of this game, but I'm going to ignore it because they took their foot off the gas last week and things got a little closer for my comfort. So I'm just going to go with the over here because the Rams offense has been pretty solid these last few weeks. They've balanced out the offense with Kyren Williams. Cooper Kupp looks healthy, and that balance that Kyren has given them has been a good thing for Matthew Stafford. It's keeping him upright in the pocket, and that is the most crucial thing here. So I think the Saints can do their part, probably put up 17 to 20 points, and I think the Rams are going to get closer to 30. So for me, this one is again an over. I'm just going to look at the total, ignore the sides, because I really don't have great trust in either of these teams. So just give me the over in week 16. Number 8 on our list, give me the 49ers at home, minus 5.5 against the Baltimore Ravens, minus 110 at BetMGM. I understand this line. They're giving the Ravens respect, which is understandable. They have the best record in the AFC. But, and this is a huge, giant offensive lineman size but, the 49ers are the best team in the NFL, not just the NFC. They are putting on a show, and not just against the bad teams, but against the really good teams as well. With the 49ers being a class unto themselves and Brock Purdy utilizing all of his weapons at will, I just think this is going to be a long day at the office for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I'm not saying the Ravens are a bad football team. I'm just saying they're, I think, slightly overrated just because the AFC itself is just not that great this year. The teams that we thought would be great have all just kind of been okay, and the Ravens are the most okay of the okay. That doesn't make them great. And going into San Fran, to me, I think the 49ers win this game by double digits. Yeah, that's right. I said it. So I'm comfortable teasing it all the way up to maybe even 9.5. So for me, give me the 49ers, who are going to put on a show and tell everybody why they're the best team in the NFL. More on the 49ers later on again in this video. Stick around for that. Next up is number 7, the Jaguars at Bucks. This is basically a pick 'em, so I'm going to pick the home team. Give me the Bucks on the money line at minus 108 over on FanDuel. Now, the Buccaneers have been pretty competitive lately, and I think Baker Mayfield has done enough to solidify himself as the returning starting quarterback next year. The Jaguars, on the other hand, seem like a team that continue to fumble opportunity after opportunity to make a statement in the AFC, and now they find themselves with their back against the wall, having to travel, I know it's in state, but still to another situation where the Buccaneers, I think, smell an opportunity to make the playoffs because they are right there in the thick of it for the NFC South. The Jaguars, on the other hand, between some of the injuries they've had there to Christian Kirk, as well as now losing Zay Jones, to me, I think the Jags are in a very tenuous spot here. So all things being basically equal, I'm going to take the home team at the -108. Give me Tampa to find a way to win. And I think the Jags have some soul searching to do next year, and certainly some offensive lineman shopping too. My goodness, can we please protect Trevor Lawrence better next year? Ooh-wee. Let's fade the public for our next pick here. The Cardinals at Bears. Give me the over 44.5 at -110 at BetMGM. Yeah, that's right. I said it, the over. 75% of the public is betting the under on this game, and I understand why. You've got the Cardinals going into Chicago, but how many times have we seen things go sideways this year? And the biggest thing I'm going to take away from last week's loss for the Cardinals against the 49ers was their inability to cover guys out there in space, and I think DJ Moore is going to have himself a day against this Cardinals defense that can't seem to guard anybody. We saw guys 10, even 12 yards open. That's going to be a problem. Even Justin Fields can find guys that open. So I think this one's going to do enough, especially if Kyler Murray can do his part here. The Bears defense has been very good. That's why you're seeing people smash that under. But I think this one just might sneak over. So again, sometimes it's smart to just fade the public, and that's what I'm doing here with the over. I'm not saying this is going to go over 50, but 44.5, I think it might. And I think the Bears will do the majority of it, but the Cardinals will do enough to sneak me right over that 44.5. Number 5 on our list, the Lions at Vikings, over 47 at -110 at BetMGM. Well, guess what? Last week, Jared Goff was great. And where was he? Oh, right. He was inside. That's the Jared Goff we know and love, and now he gets to stay inside against the Minnesota Vikings, which is another great opportunity here. With Nick Mullins under center, you saw that offense rebound a little bit. That fell short, unfortunately, against the Cincinnati Bengals, but that's sort of the MO of the Vikings season, isn't it? Falling short at every single turn they possibly can, getting your hopes up only to sink them all the way back down in a terrible, awful, anxiety-riddled depression. Perhaps I'm being a little melodramatic, but at the same time, the Lions bounce back in a big way. I can see them really trying to, again, assert themselves, running the football. Jahmyr Gibbs looked fantastic. Goff looked great. And although the Vikings defense is very good, I think this game ends up being a little bit more of a shootout than people realize. So despite the fact that 47 is a pretty stout number, I still think this one sneaks over closer to 50. So give me the over in Minnesota between the Lions and Vikes in Week 16. Number 4 on our list, give me the Browns on the money line at +122 over at Caesars against the Texans. This one is at Houston. 2 words for you: defense travels. And I think that Browns defense is a good enough unit to go in there and put pressure on CJ Stroud, who has taken a lot of sacks this year. Let's be honest, I know they had some issues with that offensive line health earlier in the year, but still, he's a returning quarterback, hopefully this week off a concussion. I think this is a very tenuous spot here for the Houston Texans, for CJ Stroud, and the Texans have been a little overrated in the betting market because it's been fun, that the Texans have been fun. I think that fun comes to an end here, and Joe Flacco and the Browns find a way to win this game. So give me the plus money, give me the Browns, which are starting to become a very good story in the AFC, and a very dangerous team potentially in the playoffs. So let's go money line with Cleveland and hope for the best. For our next few bets, let's take a look into the futures market, because this is that time of year where we have some clarity. Number 3, TJ Watt, most regular season sacks at +170 at FanDuel. Now, TJ Watt is in a good position here, leading the league in sacks right now in the regular season. And if you look at the schedule ahead for the Steelers, this looks like a pretty good opportunity for him to keep on going with that sack total leadership. He takes on the Bengals this week, a good matchup certainly for them, then the Seattle Seahawks, and then the Ravens. And surprisingly enough, Lamar Jackson's taken more sacks than you might have realized this year. And there's a chance if the Ravens really lock up the AFC, Jackson might not even play in this game. There's very little left for the Steelers to play for, but for TJ Watt, this is a big deal. He loves being at the top of the board. He has had a tremendous season, and I think considering these 3 matchups remaining and being a full sack ahead of anybody else right now on that board, I think this is a pretty good investment where you're getting almost 2-to-1 on your money. So give me TJ Watt regular season sacks at +170 on FanDuel. Number 2 on this list this week, I want you to look at the Buffalo Bills for 2 reasons. Number 1, Josh Allen NFL MVP plus 800, and also the Bills to win the AFC at plus 750 on FanDuel. The Bills beating the Chiefs in Kansas City and then turning around at home and beating the Cowboys last week tells me that the Bills just might be the team that's getting hot at the right time. And we have seen this time and time again. Teams that we think we write off and leave for dead get hot in December, roll through the playoffs all the way into the Super Bowl in February. And this could be the magical year for the Bills. And I think Joe Brady's play calling is a big part of it. I think James Cook could be a big part of it. And now the emergence of weapons like Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir that have helped take the pressure off the one-dimensional passing game that was only just the Stephon Diggs show. Josh Allen might get back into that narrative for MVP, and the Bills are certainly in that narrative to win the AFC if they get hot. I know Brock Purdy is the leader right now, but it feels like the public generally can't wrap their mind around Purdy as MVP, especially when he has so many weapons and such a great system, not to mention shaking off the whole negative stereotype of, oh, he was the last guy picked in the draft. How good is he really? I think Brock Purdy is very deserving of NFL MVP, but there's no value on the board. Josh Allen, a very public figure in the MVP race every year, could continue to somehow find a way to win these games. And if they win these last three, I think Josh Allen could be in this conversation. At the very least, at plus 800, he could get this number down to plus 3, and all of a sudden you make money on it. But that Bills at plus 750, that is a very intriguing number because I'm just not buying the Ravens. I'm not buying the Chiefs. Maybe the Bills are the team that gets hot at the right time in 2023. And lastly, I'm going to double down because last week I told you to do it, and this week the number shrunk, so I'm going to tell you to do it one more time. The 49ers to win the Super Bowl at plus 220 over on FanDuel. Last week this number was 260, now it's 220. After they beat the Ravens this week, I think it's going to shrink even more potentially. So the value is starting to leave. Get on that train before it leaves altogether, and that train runs through Napa Valley, through wine country, and through the 49ers, the best team in the NFL, not the NFC, the NFL. Get in while the getting's good with the 49ers at plus 220 to win it all. There you have it, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy everything to you. And also a happy weekend of NFL betting because there are a ton of games to bet. Make sure you bet responsibly. Make sure you enjoy the time with your friends and family this holiday season. And also don't forget to download that Betting Pros app so you can sit there while you're drinking eggnog and stay on top of all the latest notes and all of the latest lines in the sports betting universe. It is very helpful. Plus, if you get that iOS version, you get 3 free days of premium. Not too bad. Don't forget to subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Drop your comments below, and you just might win a 1-year free premium upgrade thanks to us. What a happy thing to go into the new year with. That'll do it for me, Joey P. Have a great holiday season and a great week 16. We'll see you next time, kids.